Injustice and Decay of Humanity. The oppression and exploitation of the weak by the powerful. Thus saith the Lord. If men would understand that the earth had been created for all, and would learn to righteously share with their brethren all the material and spiritual treasures with which their existence is sowed, truly, I tell you, even here on earth, you would begin to feel the peace of the spiritual kingdom. Do you not believe that the division of humanity into peoples and races is rather primitive? Do you not think that, if the progress of your civilization, of which you are so proud, were real, the law of violence and wickedness would not be prevalent still, but instead all the deeds of your existence would be guided by the light of your conscience? And you, my people, do not put yourselves above this judgment, for even among you I discover conflicts and division. Keep in mind the example of Israel which history speaks of, when they had to wander through the desert for so long. They struggled to flee the captivity and idolatry of Egypt, but also to reach a land of peace and freedom. Today, all of humanity is like that people made captive by the Pharaoh. Beliefs, doctrines, and laws are imposed on men. The majority of the nations are slaves of other, stronger ones. The struggle for survival and the labor enforced by whiplashes of hunger and humiliation are the bitter bread now eaten by a large part of humanity. Because of all this, a desire for liberation, peace, and a better life is growing within the hearts of men. This world, which is meant to be the home of a single family, one including all mankind, is the precinct of discord, and the cause of absurd ambitions, treason, and war. This life, which is supposed to be used for study, meditation, and an effort to reach eternal life through the use of its trials, lessons, and the benefits it grants the spirit, is misunderstood by humanity, allowing its heart to be poisoned by rebellion, bitterness, materialism, and dissent. You poor peoples of earth, some enslaved, others humiliated, and the rest robbed by their own leaders and representatives. No longer do your hearts love those who rule you on earth, for your trust has been betrayed. You no longer have confidence in the justice or magnanimity of your judges, and you no longer believe in their promises, words, and smiles. You have seen that hypocrisy has taken over their hearts, and it has established its reign of lies, falsehoods, and trickery here on earth. Poor peoples, who carry the labor upon their shoulders like an unbearable burden. This work is no longer that which was blessed by law, and by which man obtained what was necessary for his livelihood. Instead, it has become a desperate and anguished struggle for survival. And what do men obtain in exchange for giving their strength and lives? A crust of bread and a cup of bitterness. Truly, I tell you, this is not the livelihood I placed on this earth for your enjoyment and protection. This is the bread of discord, of vanities, of inhuman sentiments. Finally, it is proof of the lack of spiritual elevation of those who guide you in your human life. I see you taking the bread from each other's hands. I see the ambitious, unable to bear seeing others possess anything, for they wish to have it all for themselves. I see the strong take the bread of the weak, and these settle for watching the strong eat and enjoy. I ask you now, where is the moral advancement of this humanity? Where is the development of their most noble sentiments? Truly, I tell you, in the age when men lived in caves and covered themselves with the skins of beasts, even back then did they wrest the morsels of food from the mouths of their fellows. The strong took the greater portion. The efforts of the weak were taken advantage of to the benefit of those who ruled by force. And men, tribes, and entire peoples killed each other. So, wherein lies the difference between the humanity of today and the humanity of that time long gone? Yes, I know you will tell me there have been many advances. I know you will speak of your civilization and your science. I tell you, all of these are the mask of hypocrisy, behind which you hide the truth of your sentiments and your still primitive instincts, because you have not bothered even a little to develop your spirits in accordance with my law. I do not command you to refrain from researching and exploring using the scientific method. On the contrary, explore, analyze, grow and multiply in knowledge and intelligence within material life. But have mercy for one another. Respect the sacred rights of your fellow men. Understand that there is no law that authorizes any man to dispose of the life of his brother. In summary, humanity, do something to apply my highest commandment, namely, love one another, to your lives, so that you may finally be freed from the moral and spiritual mire you have sunk into. When the veil of lies that covered your faces finally falls, your light will pour out, sincerity will shine forth, and the truth shall be established in your lives. This is when you will gain the right to say that you have progressed. Grow strong in the practice of my teachings, so that, in the future, your words may always be confirmed by deeds of true compassion, wisdom, and brotherhood. I send you my peace, but truly, I tell you, where there exist men who have all they need, but who forget about those who are dying of hunger, there shall be no peace on earth. Peace is not founded on human greatness, glory, or riches, but on goodwill, on loving one another, on serving and respecting others. Oh, if only the world understood these instructions, for hatred would disappear and love would bloom within the human heart. The depravity of humanity. Mankind is stranded in the midst of a storm of sins and vices. It is not only when they become adults that men contaminate their spirits by allowing the unfolding of their passions. In their tender childhood, they already see their vessel in danger of sinking. My word, full of revelations, arises in the midst of this humanity, like an immense beacon, showing the stranded victims the true path and encouraging hope in those who were losing their faith. Humanity has multiplied along with their sins. There is no lack of cities like Sodom and Gomorrah in the world that are poisoning the hearts of men, and whose scandalousness echoed throughout the world. In spite of the fact that the inhabitants of those cities were not hypocrites, for they sinned in the light of day, not a trace remains of those sinful cities. Today's humanity, hiding in the shadows to give rein to their passions and feigning rectitude and purity thereafter, shall face a judgment more severe than that of Sodom. It is the disastrous inheritance of all past generations, whose ambitions, vices, and sickness are bearing fruit in this time. It is the tree of evil that has grown in the hearts of men, a tree fertilized by sin, and whose fruits continue to tempt both men and women, bringing new hearts to ruin every day. In the shade of that tree lie men and women without the strength to free themselves of its influence. There remain destroyed virtues, stained human dignity, and many, many stunted lives. Not only the adults are tempted by the pleasures of the world and the flesh. The poison accumulated throughout the ages has reached the youth, and even the children. And what do those who have escaped the baneful influence of evil do? What do they do for those who are still lost? They judge them, criticize them, and are scandalized by their actions. Few are there who pray for those who have lost their way, and fewer yet who dedicate a part of their lives to fighting evil. Truly, I tell you, my kingdom shall not be established among men, for as long as the tree of evil yet lives. It is necessary to destroy that power, and to do so, it is necessary to possess the only weapon that sin cannot resist, the sword of love and justice. Understand that not judgments or punishments, but rather love, forgiveness, and compassion shall be the essence of my doctrine, the light that illuminates your path, and the teaching that guides mankind towards salvation. Your materialism has transformed the Eden that I entrusted to man into an inferno. False is the life that men lead. False are their pleasures, their power, and their wealth. False as well is their wisdom and science. Both rich and poor worry about money, whose possession is deceiving. You worry about pain and illnesses, and you tremble at the idea of death. Some fear to lose what they have, and others yearn to possess what they never had. Some have excess, while others lack. But all these struggles, passions, needs, and ambitions are only in relation to the material life, the hunger of the body, the lower passions, human yearnings, as though man really had no spirit. The world and matter have temporarily defeated the spirit. Gradually, they shepherded it back into slavery, and finally ruined its mission in human life. How can you not realize that this hunger, this misery, this pain and anguish oppressing your life are merely the faithful reflection of the misery and pain of your spirit? The world needs my word. The peoples and nations need my teachings of love. The ruler, the scientist, the judge, the chaplain, the teacher, all of them need the light of my truth. And that is exactly why I came during this era, to illuminate the spirits, the hearts, and the understanding of men. Your planet is not yet a dwelling of love, peace, or virtue. I send pure spirits into your world, and you return them to me impure, because the lives of men are saturated with sin and depravity. I behold the virtues like tiny lights isolated among the spirits, battered by the winds of selfishness, vengeance, and hatred. These are the fruits that mankind offers me. The twisted world of an immature humanity. You have rulers in whose hearts can be found neither the justice nor the magnanimity necessary to govern their peoples. For they pursue the miserly ideal of power and riches. Men who call themselves my representatives, but who do not love their fellow men. Doctors who do not know the essence of their mission, which is mercy. And judges who confuse justice with vengeance, who use the law to ruinous ends. Those who deviate from their path, whose gaze wanders from the light of the beacon they bear within their conscience, none of them can even imagine the judgment they are preparing for themselves. There are also those who have taken on missions that are not theirs, and who, by their mistakes, offer proof of their absolute lack of the abilities needed to fill the stations they have occupied. Likewise, you may find supposed servants of God who simply are not, for they were not sent for that mission. Men who seek to guide peoples, but who are incapable of guiding even their own steps. Teachers who possess no gift for teaching, who, instead of giving light, create confusion. Doctors in whose hearts there dwells no sympathy for the pains of others, not understanding that he who truly bears this calling is an apostle of Christ. Men have profaned all of my core principles, but the time has come when all of their works shall be judged. Carrying out this judgment falls to me, which is why I tell you to be vigilant and fulfill my commandments of love and forgiveness. Behold this world, arrogant, defiant, and proud of the works of man that amaze the generations of this century. In their maturity, they neither believe in nor love the spiritual, and thus they neither pray nor practice my law. Nonetheless, they feel content and proud to be able to show off this pretentious world of marvels they have created through the power of their science. However, this world, brimming with the marvels of men, built over centuries of science, struggle, war, and tears, will be destroyed by their own hands and with their own weapons. For already the time is coming when humanity will realize the ephemeral and fragile nature of their works, which lacked love, justice, and a true yearning to be complete. Soon you will know that you are nothing without God, that only from me can you receive the strength, life, and intelligence to create a harmonious coexistence between the spirit and the human part of man. Men speak of the distant past, of antiquity, of the long centuries and interminable eras. Yet I still see you as small. I see that you have grown little in spirit. I consider your world to still be in its infancy, though you believe you have reached maturity. No, humanity, for as long as the spirit does not offer evidence of maturity, elevation, perfection, and advancement in all the different areas of your life, it will be beyond you to present me with anything other than merely human works, great only in appearance, yet lacking in love and moral substance, and thus they will not last. It is a decisive time for the spirits, truly a time of struggle. Strife and conflict abound. This war takes place in the heart of each and every man, in the bosoms of their families, within all the institutions, in all the peoples and every race. Not only does this battle take place on the material plane, but also in the spiritual world. It is the great battle envisioned symbolically by the prophets in times of yore, and seen in visions by even the prophets and seers of this time. Yet, this battle that wages and shakes all is not understood by humanity, though men are both witness and participant thereto. Humanity's pace is accelerated in this time, but where do they go? What destination do they rush towards? Can they achieve happiness upon this steep slope? Will they find the peace they have yearned for, or the greatness all selfishly wish for? I tell you that what man will actually achieve with his mad rush is total fatigue. The spirits and hearts of men race towards weariness of life and shadedness, and men themselves created this abyss. Into that abyss man shall fall, and in this total fatigue, this chaos of hatred and pleasure, of unsatisfied ambitions, of sin and adultery, of the profanation of both human and spiritual laws, he shall experience an apparent death of the spirit, a passing death of the heart. However, from this death I shall awaken them to life once more. I will have them experience their resurrection, and make them struggle in that new life for the rebirth of all ideals, for the resurrection of all the principles and virtues that are the characteristics and the patrimony of the Spirit, their very beginning. For it was from me that the Spirit arose, from me that it received life, from my perfection it partook, and with my grace it was saturated.